IPS UG Education Subcommittee and definitely the IPS PG Education Subcommittee under the leadership of Dr. Kishore M, Dr. Ravi Gupta, and our Professor Henal Shah. Really, we are grateful to all of you for organizing such an excellent event. And none other than I must give my regards, my respect, my thanks to Professor Mohan Isaac for as a present here as a chairperson and moderator, and not here in all the meetings. Whenever we ask him to attend, whenever we invite him, he will always encourage us and present us, and his immense contribution to the IPS is always there. Thank you, sir. Dr. Potima Murthy, congratulations again, ma'am, for your recent awards. And it was a really proud moment from all of us. And today is definitely the teachers make a difference. It is always there. Any kind of the teacher from the primary school to medical faculties, teachers is always teacher, as I know that because my dad is retired as a professor of mathematics in Presidency College, Calcutta. So he was a teacher. I know that the value of the teacher, the honor of the teacher. I always respect this position. It is not they have another position. And I must congratulate all the 4 scholars. Those get scholarship this year, all the 4 stars. My dear young friends, I hope that it is a very excellent proposals, an excellent initiative. And I hope that will continue and will definitely, our young teachers will get motivated by this. Today's our main program was, the program we will do is the idea behind this. The main idea was the standardization of the teaching to all faculty, among all faculties, that we can teach in the same way to all the students. But not only that, I must say, by organizing such programs, we can know each other, and it is also very important for among all the teachers to progress. And IPS is taking lead by these subcommittees. I am really happy and proud of it. Thank you very much. Thank you, all of you, especially to all other, Dr. N.N. Raju, the Vice Chairman of the Vice President of Indian Psychiatry Society, Dr. T.S.S. Rao, Honorary Secretary, Dr. Kirad Mishra, Treasurer, Dr. Professor O.P. Singh, the Honorary Editor of Indian Journal of Psychiatry, and all other distinguished guests and delegates present here. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Dr. Gautam Saha, President of the IPS. Now, may I request Dr. N.N. Raju, who is the President-elect and the Vice President of the Indian Psychiatric Society, to give some brief introductory remarks. Dr. Raju.
Thank you very much, sir, and very good morning on a Sunday. And it's my privilege, pleasure, honor. I think I'm getting honored myself to be in such a August gathering on a very good morning. So I think no words can suffice the efforts done by these committees, which we thought too many committees will create some problem. But here is an example where we see a combination of committees, what miracles they can do. And I congratulate all of them, Dr. Henal Shah, Dr. Ravi Gupta, and more so Dr. Kishore. I think he has been doing excellent work, not only for these committees, even before. I think so. Once again, it's such a nice and fantastic idea of induction of teachers, and I congratulate all 4 teachers who have been selected. I'm sure with the blessings of teacher of teachers, Dr. Mohan Isaac, they should be leading and absolutely, I think, should be in 7th heaven. And I also thank Dr. Pratima Murthy for being the chief guest today. And I once again wish this program a grand and a fantastic success, and I'll be more than happy to participate throughout. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much, Dr. Raju. It is my turn to now welcome and invite Dr. T.S.S. Rao to say a few words. I think most of the people in the audience would know that Dr. Kishore works in the department, which was headed by Dr. T.S.S. Rao for a long time. In fact, Mysore and Mandya are equated with T.S.S. Rao, and T.S.S. Rao is equated with JSS Medical School. He's also equated with many other things, which all of you know, so I am not going to say that. So may I invite Dr. T.S.S. Rao to say a few introductory remarks, please.
Good morning, and indeed an excellent day that we are meeting so many people who matter actually. Dr. Mohan Isaac, I don't have to tell anything at all because I was to a great extent trained by him and mentored by him. And he is such a noble soul that he is there with us anytime we request him. And this is the point President also brought it out. Dr. Kishore, I see him almost every day and by close quarters, and he's flowering as one of the great leader, and more than anything else, capacity to bring in people and get the job done. In fact, the successful leader is one who can delegate, collaborate, or get the task done in the best possible way. Kudos to him and all the three committees that are formed. In fact, Indian Psychiatric Society believes that it's almost like Indian Journal of Psychiatry. It is the flag bearer of our psychiatric academics, UG, PG, and faculty. In fact, these are the extremely important. And what we have noticed is actually very cohesive, synergistically. These three groups working, and as Dr. N. Raju was mentioning, miracles can happen if this type of cooperation and collaboration is there. Pratima Murthy has taken time, and I'm personally grateful. And again, I also join in congratulating her. And a lot many big things are likely to happen in the coming days. We hope for all the best for Dr. Pratima. And congratulations for all the people who have won the awards. And I'm also looking forward to listening to them, because in the coming days, in fact, their experience and their ideas are bound to make these type of activities much more rewarding and quite progressive too. All the best, and thank you very, very much for this invitation.
Thank you, Dr. Rao. May I now invite Dr. Surgeon Commodore K.K. Mishra, who is the Treasurer of the Indian Psychiatric Society, to convey his greetings to this program. Dr. Mishra, please.
Dr.
Thank you very much, sir.
Our student only from JSS.
Oh, I didn't know that.
In fact, he was one of the best outgoing student and won the gold medal for the Rajiv Gandhi University of Health Sciences. And gem of a person at what I can say.
That is indeed very good. I didn't know
Thank you very
about
much,
that. Dr. Mishra, please.
My respected teacher, Mohan Isaac sir, Pratima Murthy madam, and all the office bearers of the IPS, and all the heads of the task forces and the committees like Dr. Kishore and Dr. Ravi and Dr. Henal madam and Meena HR and Silpa madam and all other teachers who are present there. And my congratulations to all the young teachers like Dr. Gopal, Sujit, Shubhangi, and Dharmender. And I welcome them all to and they are going to the future torch bearers of the psychiatry teaching, and which has been led by the great teachers like Professor Mohan Isaac and Pratima Murthy madam. And I welcome all the other IPS members who are attending this meeting on the Sunday early morning. And I wish all the best for the program. And without much wasting time, I'd like to listen to them, the young teachers, which are going to be our teachers. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Dr. T.S.S. Rao, who is also the past editor of the Indian Journal of Psychiatry, just now said that the UG teaching committee, the PG teaching committee, and the faculty training, they constitute the academic and teaching core of the Indian Psychiatric Society, and he equated it to the Indian Journal of Psychiatry. So we now have the distinguished editor who took over from Dr. T.S.S. Rao as the editor of Indian Journal of Psychiatry, Dr. Om Prakash Singh, to say his introductory remark. May I now invite Dr. Om Prakash Singh to say a few words, please.
Good morning,
Dr.
sir.
Singh.
Respected Sir Dr. Isaac, Pratima Murthy, Madam, Chief Guest, President Dr. Gautam Saha, and all my colleague office bearers, and of course the committee, Kishore, Vijay, Vinay, Madam Shilpa, and Madam Saha. This is something, as a teacher, this is something very close to my heart. I always say that. And the IPS has also taken long of initiative, having 3 committees for teaching only, and to improve and standardize the standard of teaching all over the India, to bring it to the same level, so that the teaching improves, and the difference between the top colleges and so-called not top colleges decreases. And as I've seen, 2 of the teachers are from the colleges, as Professor Isaac was mentioning, which we cannot locate also. So that is this very, very great thing, and it is good for psychiatry teaching. I congratulate the winners, and I will not take much time. Again, I thank, and my regards to all of you, and thank for inviting me. Thank you.
Thank you very much. I think these kinds of programs where we are identifying and promoting young teachers from different parts, and through these kinds of program, thanks to Infosys for giving us this financial, support to give these people, encourage these people. But the support of the Indian Psychiatric Society is extremely important, and that has been conveyed by all the senior office bearers of IPS. And thank all of you on behalf of the Indian Teachers of Psychiatry. And now it's my great pleasure to invite the chief guest of this morning, Dr. Pratima Murthy, who is now the head of the Department of Psychiatry at the National Institute of Mental Health and Neurosciences. She was formerly the head of the Addiction Medicine. And of course, she is known to everybody in the country. She's been a consultant for the World Health Organization, the various other United Nations organizations, as well as she has been a short-term consultant in many countries in the world. So over to you, Pratima, to give your chief guest address. Dr. Pratima Murthy, please.
Thank you very much, sir, for having me here. I'd like to thank Dr. Kishore and team, Dr. Henel, Dr. Ravi Gupta and others, and the senior office bearers of the Indian Psychiatric Society, again, for inviting me. It's an absolute pleasure. It doesn't matter whether it's a Sunday, it's in the morning or the evening. I think just getting together and interacting with one another is really one of the most beautiful things that can happen. And I'm very grateful to all of you for having me here. Talking about gratitude, I think prior to COVID, the heroes, actually the main heroes that were spoken about were possibly the film stars. You generally tended to equate heroes and heroines with the film industry. Come COVID, we started talking about many other unsung heroes, which included especially the frontline workers, doctors, nurses, and others. In the second wave of the COVID pandemic, we started recognizing other heroes, ambulance drivers, cemetery workers, and so on. Today, we have a moment when we really talk about the unsung heroes. As Dr. Gautam mentioned, all of them, right from when we are in school, we recognize them as heroes. They remain with us as heroes. But I think it's very, very important to recognize the teacher as a hero. Because I think whatever we learn right from when we start going to school till where we are today, and possibly lifelong, the teacher is somebody who remains with us. So I'd like to start with a note of gratitude to all my teachers, because I think I am here because of scores of people who kind of helped each of us at very, very critical moments in our lives. And that's why I think we all know that apart from the Matru Devo Bhava, Pitru Devo Bhava, Acharya Devo Bhava is something that we always talk about. And I think we're eternally grateful to people who help us along life's course. And in that context, everybody has been very generous in talking about Professor Mohan Isaac. And I think I must acknowledge that Professor Mohan Isaac has been my teacher and mentor, and I am ever so grateful to him. Every one of my teachers, including teachers in psychiatry, I don't want to take individual names, but every one of them has made an impact, either in terms of their clinical skills, in terms of their training, in terms of being an inspiration and a role model right along the journey. And I hope to the young teachers, Dr. Gopal Das, Dr. Sujit Kar, Dr. Shubhangi, and Dr. Dhirendra, you will also continue to have these inspirational, figures, these role models in your life, so that you know what to do and what kind of attributes to kind of find as you become better and better teachers. First of all, congratulations to all the four of you, and all the very best in this very important role. I think with recognition comes great responsibility. So the moment you're recognized in your area, it automatically means that you have a lot more to give. And that, I think, is very, very important. And as you kind of reach this milestone, I hope that you will be able to give a lot to the psychiatric community. You'll be teachers, not just to your students, to perhaps your peers, to other members of the Indian Psychiatric Society. You can go on endlessly. And I think the second thing that I'd like to say is that in my own journey, I think one of the earliest, things that I wrote about was learner-led learning versus teacher-led teaching. I think conventionally we've always, expected teachers to be our instructors, our shikshaks, just providing information to us. But with the technology advancements, with internet being so much knowledge available on the internet, I think we've moved away from just knowledge and information to the ability to synthesize, to understand, to use experience in addition to evidence, to really hone our skills as clinicians, teachers, researchers, and so on. So when I initially started maybe as a senior resident, I was much more instructional. I was telling people where to get various kinds of information. And gradually over time, I have found that I have become a greater learner than a teacher. There is so much that you can learn from every single generation of students. You just point them in the direction of knowledge and information, but give them an opportunity to synthesize and to develop their perspectives and their experience of the world and indeed the subject. So I think that movement is something that happens to all of us across time, from being instructional to really providing wisdom and the whole experience, or the holistic kind of approach to learning. And I think that's why the Indian system actually differentiates a shikshak or or an adhyapak who provides knowledge and instruction, to an acharya who provides more the skills, or a drishtya, or a guru finally, who awakens the wisdom in an individual. So I think there's a great amount of learning in how we can transition as teachers and move from just imparting information to awakening curiosity within our students, to awaken wisdom in our students. And to that extent, teaching, I think, is also lifelong learning, because you cannot take your student to a point where you yourself have not reached. And with the vast explosion of knowledge, with the vast psychiatry, which was in its infancy, has made so many advancements. So you need to be abreast of everything. But remember, just being a teacher cannot make you completely skilled in all aspects of knowledge. And therefore, knowing the general journey of it and showing students a journey becomes a very, very important part. The other thing, of course, is that a teacher is also a mentor. And I think it's very, very important to think of mentorship not just as being available to one or two people, but to think of mentorship as something that gives time to students, that keeps students' interests at heart, that motivates students, guides them, challenges them to improve themselves, serves as a good role model for students, and provides various kinds of support in the journey of learning. And the journey of learning is not just academic learning. It's not just textbook learning. It's also experiential learning. And particularly as psychiatrists, I think we need to teach our students experiential learning, holistic learning, learning in an ecological sense, not just the individual, but looking at the individual in the context that they're in, and opening their gaze to so many other interactive aspects which the psyche is placed in. So I think really giving them that broad experiential learning is very important. And that's why teachers also need to serve as mentors. In the last part of my brief talk, I just need to mention to you the Young Mental Health Professionals Leadership Program that I have been involved in now for several decades. And I started participating in this as a young professional myself. And Mysore brings back journeys, Dr. Rao, because one of the first leadership programs that I attended for young teachers was in Mysore. Professor Mohan Isaac and I had a very, very memorable journey back. I will tell you that story another day. But I think ever since then, my acquaintance, my relationship with Professor Norman Sartorius, Professor Mohan Isaac, several other mentees who participated with me has grown over decades. And to date, we continue this relationship. We continue to learn from one another. We continue to enrich each other. And I think it's a very bi-directional relationship. And I'm ever so grateful to this. And recently, Dr. Sartorius, Dr. Mohan Isaac, Dr. Chaturvedi, and now my younger colleagues, Dr. Krishna Prasad, Dr. Arun, and several others. I mean, it's an amazing relationship that has been developed. And Dr. Kishore and team, I see that the same relationship is also likely to develop. And therefore, that brings me to congratulate the Indian Psychiatric Society finally for really looking at this as a very important area. Dr. Raju said there were so many different areas and you don't know what to concentrate in. But developing teachers, developing role models, developing mentors in psychiatry is, I think, an investment which will only bring rich dividends. Once again, I'd like to congratulate the winners of the IToP and wish you all the very best. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you very much, Pratima, for those wise words and those advice to our young teachers. You did mention about the, learner-led learning, etc. And you also referred to the journey of learning. Now, the people who are going to speak now are first the 4 winners of this scholarship. It is titled The Journey So Far, and after that, we'll also hear from Vinay about the journey ahead. So the journey so far is going to be narrated by, very briefly, in about 2 minutes, 3 minutes, because one of the important things about this Sunday mornings with teachers is not to keep on prolonging the program to 2 hours and 3 hours. Sunday mornings are important for everybody. So it was decided that it should be just 1 hour and not too much more than 1 hour. So it is my great pleasure to now invite one by one the stars of this morning's program, the awardees of the scholarship. They will talk about their perspectives of the IToP steps, the journey so far. They all applied, they were interviewed rigorously, and then of course it has been step by step, and we are now going to start the 20 hours scholarship program with a lot of activities. So may I request Dr. Dhirendra Kumar Mishra from Shyam Shah Medical College, Rewa, Madhya Pradesh, to speak first. Dr. Dhirendra Kumar Mishra. Dr. Mishra? Yes.
Yes. Thank you, sir. And I would like to thanks. And I am so lucky to hearing all of the stalwart of Indian Psychiatric Society in a single platform, and they all came together to mentors our. First, I would like to describe myself. I am Dr. Dhirendra Mishra, working as an assistant professor in Shyam Shah Medical College, Rewa. And I know about this IToP scholarship. One of my junior during my MD, she told me about this IToP scholarship, send me brochure, and so after that I am applied for the same. In the initial process, it was a screening to record your teaching lectures, or you record how to teach your students. then I make a small video how I am teaching to UGs or my PGs and brief biodata and send to trust, and followed by I was shortlisted, and a brief and an interview was done online at online platform. Mohan Isaac sir, I think Dr. Helen Shah and other few other dignitaries take an interview, and in this interview almost on every aspect try to assess you, like what is your academic activities, what are you doing in college, other activities like in scientific society, or in what other platform where you are representing or you are participated, and what are you planning to in future. A dilemma between academic, you are choosing, you will continue as an academicians or a private practitioner, or what kind of you are thinking about as a psychiatric teacher, it will be better. And after the interview, almost after an interview 1.5 I think almost after 3 to 4 weeks the result was announced and I was selected. And after the final selection, the online platform program was organized to announce the name, and this was a grateful experience. And I am also looking forward to learn next 24-hour learning module. Thank you, sir. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Dhirendra. That was very good. It was a journey of the last several months when he applied, interviewed, got selected. Thank you very much. Now, one of the things that, the people who organized this scholarship program were more surprised was that amongst the list of applicants were, the program was meant for smaller medical colleges, young teachers who didn't have much support, small departments who had to teach psychiatry. Of course, now with the new, competency-based curriculum, etc. But what we were more surprised was about 50% of the applicants were from very prestigious institutions such as the PGI. We had an assistant professor for PGI, NIMHANS, All India Institute of Medical Sciences, CMC Vellore, St. John's, KGMC, etc. So the people who had to select had a dilemma. They are already in very good centers, but this program is for remote places, etc. Ultimately, they decided that since all these people have applied, rejecting all of them would not be a good idea. In fact, other than the 4 people, there are 8 or 9 people who have been given a research grant to do research on teaching and learning related activities. I'll not go into the details of that, but the reason why I mentioned that is the next person whom I am going to invite is Dr. Sujit Kumar Kar from the KGMC, which is a well-known and one of the oldest departments of psychiatry, which has had excellent teachers, which produce very good graduates. Dr. Sujit Kumar is a faculty of the KGMC Lucknow. May I now invite Sujit Kumar to briefly tell about the journey so far. Sujit.
Good afternoon, sir. Good afternoon, everybody. My sincere regard to IToP's team for considering me for this teaching fellowship program. I came to know about this program from Dr. Kishore through personal communication. For the first time, I heard about something is going on regarding training the teachers about the teaching skills. So just why I was interested to apply for this, because I did my MBBS from a very small medical college. I saw the attitude of the students towards psychiatry and psychiatric teaching. So then I joined in KGMC as a postgraduate student, and I saw I believe that KGMC is a very good institute, and there are very good teachers, and the undergraduate students might be more involved in to attend the psychiatric classes. But somehow I realized that as a teacher, when I started teaching the undergraduate students, there are very few students, they are attending the routine psychiatric classes, they are attending the psychiatric postings, though the curriculum is more rigorous and a lot of effort is given by the teachers of psychiatry. Somehow the scenario is not different. So I thought there might be some reason why psychiatry is not taken as a subject by most of the medical graduates, why psychiatry is not so interesting for the medical graduates. There must be something new or innovative need to be done for making psychiatry more interesting for the undergraduates, so that more number of undergraduates will opt for psychiatry. That was my concern. So I tried a lot of experimentation in my way of teaching to make it more interesting. So this made me feel that I need to learn some more skills so that I can make psychiatry interesting for the undergraduates, and so that more number of undergraduates will take psychiatry as a career. So Dr. Dhiren just highlighted how the procedure of selection was done. I exactly went through the same selection procedure. I applied for the fellowship, then interview. The selection committee invited me for an interview. Then I faced that interview. Then I got selected. Then there was a program where the result was announced. Thereafter, all the trainees, all the awardees, they were taught what exactly need to be done in the fellowship training program, and the course curriculum, everything has been explained. So I'm eagerly waiting that to attend those sessions by the learned mentors to improve my teaching skills. So this will be, I hope this will be a wonderful experience for me. So thank you again for giving me this opportunity. Thank you so much, sir.
Thank you, Sujit. From Rewa to Lucknow, and now we'll come down south to Chitaldurga. The next awardee is Dr. Gopal Das. He is head of the department. Maybe he's also tail of the department, because in the interview he told us that it's a very small department, and his constant job is to go and talk to the dean and principal how important psychiatry is, because they all trivialize the role of psychiatry. So Dr. Gopal Das works in the Basaveshwara Medical College, Chitaldurga. Chitaldurga, for those of you who do not know where it is, it's one of the districts in Karnataka. It is, I know Chitaldurga very well, because developing 30 years ago, the Bellary District Mental Health Program, we used to go by road from Bangalore to Bellary, and many times it used to be via Chitaldurga. So now it is over to you, Dr. Gopal Das, to say in few words the journey so far. Dr. Gopal Das.
Thank you, sir. Very good morning to you all. It's such a privilege to at least meet you all in a virtual meeting and listen to your wonderful words. There are so many of my teachers here whom I took as inspiration when I was doing my post-graduation. And I still don't feel like, as sir told, right now I hold associate professor just for the sake of designation. I still feel like a fresh pass out when it comes to learning and teaching, of course. I had this pain and still have this pain of not doing justice to my students in teaching psychiatry. This is a long felt and craving for me to have mentors and to learn, and also make the students learn, rather not teaching by itself. I would like to make people, my students, learn. So this is what made me take up this program. Honestly speaking, I never expected this program to have this big stage, and this is all a surprise for me, and I would definitely look forward to go into this program, and also do whatever best I can in the future scope. As my previous two speakers, my programs spoke, definitely with respect to Dr. Sujit, it had been a situation where I face every day, how to make teaching interesting, how to make students to turn up to psychiatry. Just for the sake of teaching, I taught nursing students, social work, and even non-psychiatry classes just to satisfy my feelings to teach, but I couldn't do that much in psychiatry teaching as such. As for the standardization is concerned, I always felt that teaching methodologies in psychiatry, both for UG and PG, needs to be standardized so that the outgoing graduates will continue the same culture in teaching. There has been vast differences in the way we teach. So this has been my thoughts all these days, and we went through say definitely rigorous, and we felt we shared our hearts in interview as well as pre-interview write-ups and all. Finally, I'm here. I'm really excited to go through this program, and fingers crossed. Anyways, thank you all of you to give me an opportunity of 2 to 3 minutes to speak about this thing. Hope this continues in future. Thank you so much, everyone.
Thank you, Gopal. Now we'll move on to the next awardee. She is Dr. Shubhangi Dere. The Shubhangi that many of us older people in the group are familiar with is Shubhangi Parker, who retired as a head of the KEM hospital, I think. So this is a young Shubhangi who is already doing lots of good things in teaching. She is at the MGM Medical College in Navi Mumbai. So she is one of the proud winners of the scholarship. And may I now request Shubhangi to say a few words about the journey so far. Shubhangi, please.
Thank you so much, sir. Good afternoon to everyone. And really, after taking psychiatry, I felt that my name is really privileged. Before that, I was not aware about it. I will start with my journey in psychiatry and till this platform. After passing my MBBS from St. GSK KM Medical College under Dr. Shubhangi Parker Madam itself, I had got training for psychiatry, Dr. Shilpa Adarkar, Dr. Janvi Kedare. So it was really a good experience over there. Then I did my diploma in psychological medicine from JJ Hospital in Grand Medical College, Mumbai. And then I did my secondary DNB from KJ Somaya Medical College. Throughout, I'm really very much proud that I got good teachers and good exposure in Mumbai. Then I had my next milestone where I attended this Dr. R.N. Ramamurthy Third Professional Skills and Leadership Workshop at NIMHANS in 2014, where it was really the first time that I was fascinated with the various soft skills in psychiatry that we can really work upon and improvise ourselves as an academician, as a clinician, and as a researcher, where I must say that I had got a very good experience and learning from Dr. S.K. Chaturvedi, Dr. Narman Sartorius, and Dr. Mohan Isaac, sir. Then the next milestone, I believe, was when I was given this opportunity to be an editor for Mind's e-newsletter for UG students. And I was really very much fascinated with the work Dr. Kishore, Dr. Vinay, and Dr. Kiran, they are doing, and the team, the entire team. I am part of the team when I was working with the Minds newsletter. And after that, I got an opportunity through selection for doing IPS travel fellowship in parental psychiatry. That was in 2016. So that was my dream come true, to work in NIMHANS under Dr. Prabha Chandra ma'am, and got that brief exposure about how the department runs. And so I think this 2-3 milestones have really shaped me into a better, confident person, because I'm constitutionally very shy and very introvert kind of a person. So I believe that I'm still learning to become a better person myself, and obviously academic skills and clinical skills. I have been trained into basic and revised basic medical education technology workshops and CISP workshop in view of this competency-based medical education. And I really look forward to this opportunity, because as a teachers, as per MCI and NMC mandate, we all have gone through the basic education skills. But I feel psychiatry specific education skills will be the really most important skills that I would be learning, and improvise myself as a teacher, because definitely to increase interest in the students who have interest in psychiatry, but with lot of misconceptions. So I would definitely look forward to work as an instrumental in this particular process in my future. Thank you so much for selecting me and making part of this particular prestigious project. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Thank you, Shubhangi. Just a minute. Thank you, Shubhangi, for narrating your journey so far. That completes the 4 winners of the scholarship. Once again, from my side, hearty congratulations to you, and wish you a very productive next several months when you will participate in this scholarship program with many learning facilitators from different parts. You will, of course, have, see, the learning to be a teacher, it's a kind of a skill development program. It's not theory learning. And skill development online, this is a challenge for all of us. But so far, things have gone on well. And probably there's no other way to do these things. In many places, even the MD exams are conducted online, and So once again, wish you all the very best. Now, to continue with the journey so far, it's my great pleasure to invite Dr. Kiran Kumar. Dr. Kiran Kumar is Professor of Psychiatry at the Vaidehi Institute of Medical Sciences in Bangalore. He is also one of the trustees of this Minds United Trust, which is the one which has created the IToPs and STEPS, etc. Kiran is somebody who is a very good teacher himself, because I just listened to him yesterday and day of yesterday, conducting a program of training mental health facilitators in JSS University, which was attended by about 500 people. He was talking about how students of dentistry, physiotherapy, nursing, etc., can become mental health facilitators. So he's an excellent teacher, but besides all that, he is somebody who's been quietly doing the background work for these steps so far. So Kiran will talk to us about perspectives from the Minds United Trust initiatives for psychiatry teachers. Over to you, Kiran.
Thank you, sir. Thank you for this opportunity. And it's my privilege to represent Minds United Trust. So we at Minds United Trust of Health Sciences and Humanity envisaged this idea a few years back. We are a team of 6 professionals, 5 of us from medical background and 3 of us are psychiatrists ourselves. And since we come from a teaching background, we thought that there should be something done to facilitate the role of teachers. And what we also realized that there's a huge resource of psychiatry teachers in India, which is building up every year. For instance, there are about 600 medical colleges in India as of today. And if you take, there are about 3 to 6 faculty members in each of this institute. So we are having a resource of about 1,800 to 3,600 psychiatric teachers alone in India. So in this background, Minds United Trust for Health Sciences and Humanity has initiated 2 annual national awards for any Indian psychiatric teachers for the best initiative or research that has implication in UG and PG psychiatry since 2018. Our research we had published in Indian Journal of Psychological Medicine in 2020 showed that majority of psychiatric teachers felt the need for training in teaching psych skills, but there was no platform for them. So that's where we thought that a platform needs to be created. And thanks for Infosys Foundation, where we had got funds. So we considered that unless teachers are provided with opportunity to enrich their teaching skills, provided incentives, provided peer faculty, not much will be positive in relation to incorporation of psychiatry in public health services to train manpower at UG or PG level. Hence, annually, we have initiated 4 scholarship IToP steps from 2021, and this is the induction program for the same. We also believe that without psychiatry education research, the psychiatry teachers will not be able to bring out the best in teaching, learning psychiatry for a country with 3.5 billion. So psychiatry in public health should begin at MBBS training with best strategies in enhancing skills of upcoming doctors. Similarly, for postgraduate training, funding in psychiatry education research has been minimal or nil, which is such a paradox for a country with 300 postgraduate centers that offer psychiatry residency. So last year, 9 psychiatric teachers have received something called as a must enrich research grant from our trust. So together, trust has funded more than a dozen psychiatry teachers across India. So far, we have provided 2 lakh cash incentives just for psychiatry teachers, and we are proud of the services they provide to society at large, and we will continue to explore many such areas in future. So thank you all for this opportunity. It is my pleasure to represent the Minds United Trust. Thank you, sir.
Thank you very much. That is the journey so far, very briefly. Now to talk about the journey ahead, these 4 people who have been inducted into the training program, now what lies ahead for them? So to talk about that, it's my great pleasure to invite Dr. Vinay HR. Vinay HR is a faculty of the Department of Psychiatry at the Adi Chunchanagiri Institute of Medical Sciences. That is, again, a small place, medical college, but Vinay is probably known to everybody in the Indian Psychiatric Society because he is the mentor and teacher who churns out the medical students who have repeatedly won the psychiatry IPS psychiatry quiz, not only at the state level, at the zonal level, but also a couple of times at the national level. It's a small place, but he is such a passionate teacher that he enthuses his 3rd year, 4th year medical students, not only in enriching them with knowledge of psychiatry to participate in his programs and come out victorious at national level. Vinay is also the co-chairperson of the IPS UG committee. The chairperson of the UG committee is Dr. Ravi Gupta of the AIMS Rishikesh, who is also actively in all these programs. Now, it is over to you, Vinay, to tell us about the journey ahead. Vinay, please.
Yeah, thank you for the kind words, sir. So good afternoon, everyone, and thanking all the dignitaries who could make it up to this event to encourage and bless us in this endeavor. So we put forth briefly what journey ahead we have scheduled. This IToP steps is a 20 session lasting, each session lasting 1 hour, spread across 3 months. So within this 20 hours, there are fixed 16 hours of topics ranging from overview of psychiatry education in India, role of teacher, institution and organization, and other topics being like principles of adult learning, setting induction in a teaching learning session, small and large group teaching, bedside clinics, e-learning, educational research. And IToP team also felt that there should be a kind of a element of customization for each individual participant, wherein there is a provision for 4 hours of customized sessions, wherein our participants, current awardee teachers, they have opted topics ranging from inputs regarding current CBME, mentoring, consultation, psychiatry, and so on. So this IToP STEP scholarship is mainly started with an objective of enhancement of skills among psychiatry teachers. So apart from the basic medical education course that is running by, that is being encouraged by NMC, so we also felt that psychiatry teachers need to have some kind of a customization in terms of medical education. So we have the scholarship, which is about to start in another 2 weeks or so. And also there have been a lot of efforts in that has gone in by the faculty, the names which have been put it in the chat box. So in terms of what teaching learning sessions, assessments here include periodic assignments, feedback, reflections upon, activities, and also kindly, at the end of it, kind of a feedback to improvise upon subsequent scholarships. And also we have in mind that if possible, if the situations are conducive enough, we're also planning for kind of a evaluation maybe 1 year later and 5 years down the lane, and if possible in person, so that we can gather the inputs from the participants and also document it. And maybe if at all there's a need for refining and revising it, so maybe we can do it. And also there is a commitment on the participants' part as well to propagate this idea and also extend, in their own areas later also. So looking forward for a pleasurable teaching learning experience, and best wishes for all the scholarship awarded teachers. So as you know, we are all lifelong learners. So even we are keen to learn. Thank you all the dignitaries who could be part of this event.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much, Vinay. These programs you know, when it was particularly the Sunday morning program, the title itself is Sunday Special 60 Minutes with Psychiatry Teachers. We have just exceeded 60 minutes. I want to end by, you know, thanking all the IPS office bearers, thanking our chief guest, thanking the inductees into the scholarship program for kindly being present and talking briefly to us about their journey so far. I want to recognize the presence of Dr. Shilpa Adarkar, who is the co-chair of the task force, faculty training task force. I want to also recognize the presence of Ajay Kumar, who is one of the AIMS, very actively involved in teaching. And I want to, besides Vinay and Kishore who are here, the other, the peer teachers learning. This is actually, as Vinay mentioned, it's a peer learning teaching program. It is that we are mutually learning. It is not that anybody is, you know, reached at the top and they can be giving unidirectionally skills and development. This is a mutual learning kind of program. The other people who are involved, of course, besides Hinal, who is the chair of the PG committee, other persons are Dr. Vikas Menon from the JIPMA, that is the Jawaharlal Nehru Institute of Postgraduate Training in Pondicherry, and there is Arun, who is not a psychiatrist, but is a medical education expert working at the JSS University. Ravi Gupta, of course, is the head of the department in All India Institute Rishikesh, who is the chair of the undergraduate committee. So it is well past 60 minutes. I want to thank everybody, and then I want to hand this over back to Kishore to finally say some concluding remarks and end the program. Back to you, Kishore.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you so much, sir. On behalf of all the committees, Professor Hinal Shah, at the chairperson of the IPS postgraduate subcommittee, Dr. Ravi Gupta from the IPS UG subcommittee, and my co-chairperson, Dr. Shilpa Adarkar, EC coordinator, Dr. Sujit Sarkar. We would like to convey that we are immensely thankful to all of you. And I would like to remember Dr. APJ Abdul Kalam, who received the Bharat Ratna, who was the President of India, and was also a scientist. And he was asked what he should be remembered as, and he said he wants to be remembered as a teacher. So there cannot be a better example. And Professor Pratima Murthy aptly said in the beginning of the program, unless we pay gratitude to the teachers and then build the capacity of the teachers, nothing much will happen on the ground. With this, we conclude this program. We thank one and all, Professor Mohan Isaac, to chair and continue this session. Thank you so much, sir.
Thank you all.
Thank you very much, and we will close the program. Thank you.
Thank you.